Hi there, Troy Harrison, the Sales Navigator, and today I want to answer one of those questions I get asked literally all the time. Troy, how do I get my veteran salespeople to participate in my CRM system? This is one of the most vexing things that sales managers have to deal with because we all know that not every salesperson likes to work with CRM, and particularly a lot of your veterans who didn't grow up in the CRM age. I don't know that they necessarily struggle with it. They just don't see that it should be a big part of their responsibilities. So let's talk about that. First, I want to let you know I am a big believer in CRM. However, I am not a tech guy. I've looked at numerous articles and videos on the internet on how to do exactly what I'm talking about. All of them are written, it seems like, by CRM people or tech people, and they approach it from a theoretical point of view. I'm a sales manager, I'm a sales consultant, I'm a sales rep, and we all know that sales reps can be a little bit rebellious. Ask me how I know that. As a matter of fact, ask my former bosses how they know that. Anyway, in this day and age, you need a CRM. That data is yours. If you're paying your salespeople a salary, part of what you're paying them for is to collect data on your behalf. And if you're not using a CRM, they're collecting that data. It's just not yours. So you need a CRM. And it's amazing to me how many companies I talk to, even today. This is being recorded in April 2020. Even today, it's amazing to me how many companies still don't have a functioning, well-working CRM system. So hopefully this little video will give you some pointers on how to do that. First of all, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. I see this all the time in CRM. I'll talk to companies, I'll say, what do you use for CRM? They say, well, right now we don't have anything. We're looking at a number of different systems, and we want to have something that talks to our back-end accounting system, whatever it is. We're currently evaluating systems. It's going to be a big, costly implementation. We're hoping a year from now we can get something going. Don't do that. You need CRM, and you need it now. You need it this week, next week, the week after. Why? Think about this for a moment. An average salesperson they're going to be interacting with at least 20 customers per week. And if you are not capturing that data, then you are not you're not getting the benefit of those 20 calls per week into your company. That's 1,000 sales calls per year. So let's say you're working on a CRM implementation right now, but it's a year off. For every salesperson you have, think about this. 1,000 customer interactions are going to happen per salesperson before you ever get around to implementing your CRM. Don't be that person. Instead, get something now, even if you've got to get something simple. I personally use HubSpot. I recommend HubSpot. I like HubSpot. And the reason that I like HubSpot is it's simple, it's easy to use, and by the way, it's free. So it's also not costly. Any company that I work with can use it. By the way, I have no financial connection with them. It's just a system I use and I like a lot. There are other systems out there, free and costly, that you can use that are going to have all the parameters we're about to be talking about. So you've got a CRM system, but your salespeople aren't using it. Step number one in getting them to use it is to just sit down individually and ask them why they aren't participating. This is a step nobody ever talks about. Everybody assumes why salespeople don't participate in CRM, but nobody ever asks them. So sit down individually and ask them. Remember, if you're a sales manager and you have 10 sales representatives, you're actually 10 sales managers. You need to individualize your management style. So ask each one individually why they don't participate, listen to them, and take those into account. Okay, so ask them why they don't participate, have that individual discussion. Now let's talk about some of the possible reasons that salespeople don't. Use your CRM to benefit them. Salespeople look at CRM strictly as a big brother issue. In other words, the reason you're doing it is just to keep tabs on me, and I don't want to be kept tabs on. Remember, salespeople are very independent creatures. So you need to combat that, and the biggest way to combat that is by using the data that they gather to benefit them and to benefit the company as a whole. How could you do that? Well, a lot of ways. You could launch a marketing campaign using that data and market to them, help them sell more. You could have other departments besides the sales department participating in CRM. For instance, let's say you've got a service department that works on the machines that your salespeople are selling. Your salesperson pulls out the CRM on his mobile app. We're going to talk about that in a moment. And he sees that the service manager just interacted with his customer that morning, so he can go in and have an intelligent conversation with them about what's going on in the service department. He wouldn't have been able to do that without a CRM. Your CRM system should be the communications hub for your company and for your customers. Again, it's very easy to do. It's very easy to get people on stream and having access to this. You just need to do it. But when salespeople see that that is something that can benefit them and isn't just a big brother for you to look over their shoulder, they're going to be more anxious to participate in it. So that's the next thing. Now, here's the big key. And by the way, for veteran salespeople, a lot of veteran salespeople, let's be honest, aren't delighted with sitting down at a laptop and typing, or if you make them thumb type stuff in, it's even harder for them to participate. They don't want to. I'll be honest, I don't like thumb typing. And I've been working with CRM systems as a sales manager for 22 years now. Let me tell you, those first ones were a nightmare. The CRM implementation that I did in 1998 with a company that I was working for, we had these big pads of forms that the salespeople had to carry with them and fill out. They'd fill this all out. And, they have to put the customer information in on everyone, put in all their notes. That's what they took their notes on. And then they would hand this page to my marketing administrator, and she would go in and type everything in to the system. Maybe get in there in 2 or 3 days. Good God, it was cumbersome. It was cumbersome as a manager. It was cumbersome as a salesperson. And what happened was the salespeople participated in it very grudgingly. It wasn't that great for me. Granted, I could count their activities, but I wasn't getting it in real time. So I couldn't do a lot of meaningful management with them or conversations with them because I wasn't getting that data in real time. And then there was always the disconnect between what they wrote on the form, and let's be honest, they didn't have the greatest handwriting, and what the person was entering in. Nowadays, it is so much easier. The core of making this easy for your salespeople is the mobile app. And by the way, I am pretty agnostic as far as which CRM system to use. Like I said, I use HubSpot because it's free, it's easy to use, and they have a mobile app. You don't have to use HubSpot. What you do have to have is an app that is a CRM that has a mobile app, because that is the linchpin for making everything easier for your salespeople. I'm going to show you what I mean right now. Here's my HubSpot. I have my phone, I have HubSpot already loaded on it. Let's say that I have just made a sales call on Tom Callahan of Callahan Auto in Sandusky, Ohio. Now, Tom, he's getting ready to launch a line of brake pads, and he's trying to figure out how to sell those best. And so Tom and I had a conversation. Now, I'm getting back out in my vehicle after the call. Here's what I can do. And I realize, by the way, that this may not show up very well on the video screen just because of the two screens interacting with each other. That's okay. You can get the idea. I've got a button right here that says Log Activity. I'm already on Tom's record. And it's going to pop up. It's going to say Log a Meeting. And then it's going to say, okay, here's the meeting. When did I have the meeting? Well, I'm recording this on April 22nd at 11:14, so we'll just leave that time in. And then it says Start Typing to leave a note. Here's where CRM goes bad, because like I said, I don't like thumb typing. A lot of your salespeople don't like thumb typing. Here's what you can do, though. Talk to text is your friend right here. Click right there, tap on the Start Typing, and then tap the microphone button. Here's what I'm going to do. Had a meeting with Tom Callahan regarding his new brake pad line, period. He is trying to figure out the best way of selling it, period. I should perform a sales audit with him, comma, and also investigate training his son, Tommy, to be able to sell the brake pads, period. This is probably the best course of action, period. have set a meeting with him for 1 week from now, period. All right. I just put in my notes, and sometimes you'll have to edit your notes a little bit. You'll notice that I was enunciating very carefully, and I think this is very important. But notice, I managed to get a lot of great notes in there. I'm going to hold this up, and obviously it doesn't work on the screen. But I managed to get a lot of great notes in there, and as I read back over them, I actually don't have to edit anything. Sometimes you'll have to go in and thumb type a few edits or something to get those in, but I hit save. Now I've got that meeting logged in Tom's record, and I've got all my notes. And if I'm working for somebody with a sales manager, all of a sudden they can see in real time exactly what I have done. What that means to you as a sales manager is that when you get back to when that salesperson gets back to the office, you can look at that meeting, you can look at what they've done, and you can say, hey, how'd that sales call go? As a sales rep, that means that the next time I show up to Tom Callahan's place, I can pull that record up. Doesn't matter if it's now, doesn't matter if it's a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. I can look that up on the record, and I can see exactly the talk track of what I've done with Tom Callahan. And notice, that took me 30 seconds. Get your salespeople in the habit of using that talk-to-text function to log their activities in real time, right after they walk out of their customer's location, and it will work so much smoother for you. I'm here to tell you guys, this will work so much smoother. It's the best way, and you can do so many things with the mobile app. You can log opportunities. Another thing you can do: train your salespeople to make their phone calls out of the mobile app, and the app is automatically going to log the call, and then all they've got to do is use talk to text to put in their notes. You can also send emails and texts out of that mobile app too. And again, I use HubSpot. I recommend HubSpot. I don't have any financial connection with HubSpot, but most CRMs also have a mobile app that has those functions on it. So get them using that. That'll make it so much simpler. Now, finally, there's one other thing you have to do to be able to get them to use it. And that is you have to reward and acknowledge their use. That can be done in any number of ways. Most of it's verbal. My philosophy on management is that management is a gentle pressure applied relentlessly. What that means is that on a consistent basis, especially if you have a salesperson that has taken a little work to get onto the CRM system, thank them for doing it. Acknowledge that they're doing something extra. But there's also little ways of rewarding and acknowledging that don't have to be as elaborate as saying, Steve, thank you so much for getting onto the CRM system. Here's what you can do. Use that as the hub of your conversations with them. Think about that for a minute. Use that as the hub of your conversations. So instead, when Steve comes back into the office, instead of saying, hey, Steve, what'd you do today? Have your act together. Have looked on what Steve logged on CRM and say, hey, how'd that call go with Tom Callahan? I saw that the notes look pretty good. What did he say that you didn't put in there? Or even better, Steve, I see you're going out to call on Tom Callahan tomorrow. What can I do to help you? What you shouldn't do, and here's the greatest way to kill CRM. Don't ever, if your salesperson is participating, don't ever say, Steve, what'd you do today? He's putting all that in there so you have that information. So don't ask them to fill out a separate call report. Don't have conversations about what they did without looking at CRM. Don't ask them to fill out separate opportunity reports. There's other functions you can do, by the way, with CRM. You can have it set up to auto-generate proposals, save them a lot of time back in the office. There's a lot of things you can do. But here's what you need to do. Make sure, and by the way, I'm a big fan of keeping this simple. The biggest three things you need CRM to do are contact management, storing all the contact data, activity logging and tracking, have them log their activities just like I showed you with the talk to text, and finally, opportunity management. Now, there's lots of things CRM can do over and above that. Most of them are extra. Most of them are things that you don't have to have them do in order to be effective. But if you do these things in this way, you will get a lot greater participation in CRM, even from your highly experienced and seasoned and veteran sales representatives. I hope that helps you. It's a question I get asked a lot, And I hope this helps at least start to answer that question for you. Got any other questions about that? Put them in the comments or even email me, troy@troyharrison.com. And also, if you are a president, a CEO, a business owner, or a key manager like a sales manager of a company, and you'd like to get a free 1-hour sales strategy review call with me, that's very easy. Go to my website at troyharrison.com. There's a button on the front page that'll point you there. Or I'm also going to put the link to this in the credits and in the comments on the video. Just click that link and you can request your very own sales strategy review. Thank you for watching. Good luck. Good selling.